Sup people, Multiply here, and we're going to do an FM8 tutorial today on making lead presets. You know, those kind of synth leads, the kind of like melodies and shit are done with. We're going to make one of them in FM8 because FM8 is awesome for leads. And although I've done a lot of stuff in Massive, I'm getting more and more into FM8. And yeah, basically, if you want really detailed leads, FM8 blows Massive out of the water. So I'm going to do a tutorial on it. Now, the downside is, whereas in some tutorials, I make a preset in my own time, and then I kind of deconstruct it in the tutorial, I'm going to do a bit of an experiment where I just make it on the fly. So this tutorial may take 10 minutes, it may take 40 minutes. Don't really know, depends how easy the lead comes about to make. So yeah, we're going to see what happens. The good thing is you'll see what actually is involved in making a preset, because there are some tutorials that they just open up a new instance and they go, drag this to here, drag this to there, click this button, do that, do that, do that, and it's like in 10 minutes the whole thing is done, fully processed, and it's like that's not how it works in real life. You can't just immediately go to the right settings. You need to play around, maybe try different routing. So I'm going to hopefully show you the full process from the position of someone who knows quite a bit about FM8, but who's not such an expert that you'll see a kind of a false representation of how to make a preset. And of course, I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm going through it. But if you don't know the basics of how FM8 works, see my last tutorial. It's fucking long, but it does go through everything really you need to know. Now you can spend about 10 hours learning everything about FM8, or you can spend 45 minutes learning the basics from my last tutorial. So let's get into it. Let's make a lead preset. It's in my interest to make it good, because I'm about to start a new EP project. And this is hopefully going to be the first contribution to this preset, so sweet. New sound. Yeah, my keyboard works. Cool, so we're going to want master up, mono. We're not doing chords, that's my rule, remember. If you're not doing chords, stick it on mono, it's just better. Yeah, we don't want any unison. Now it's a bit annoying because there's a lot of delay in my headphones. It's like 3/4 of a second. So yeah, if my keyboard pressing's a bit weird, it's because I'm just not anything like in time with my headphones. Anyway, I think we're going to want portmanteau on. Try that setting, start off with, and then leave it on auto. Yeah. You should know what these buttons do. I'm not going to explain it now. It's another tutorial. Right. So we're going to want to lead. I'm thinking we start off with. I want quite an aggressive lead, but I don't want it just to be gratuitously kind of dissonant and cacophonic, which is just kind of harsh. I don't want it to be like in dubstep where people just make stupid sounds. It's like just horrible noises. I want it to be kind of piercing, but musically nice and just nice on the ears. Just like how Skrillex, he does weird noises, but they're nice weird noises. Whereas if you see a generic dubstep tutorial on YouTube, the noises are just bad. I think the best way to describe it is like Ed Banger describes the Ed Banger sound, which is what like Justice and Sebastian uses. It's musical distortion. So I like the way it's kind of like, it's harsh, but it's musical. And that's what we're going for. So let's try a saw. Cool. Let's try taking down. Wow, this headphone thing's annoying. Why is direct monitor not working? Is it working? Cool. I don't even know. Whatever. Stick this down an octave. And then leave that E there. Turn E on. Let's pick a different wave. Oh yeah, key sync. Before we forget, let's just turn all these on. So yeah, basically what I'm doing, as I explained in my FM8 basics tutorial, just keep trying stuff, try different waves, just keep making more layers of interaction and complicatedness, and then eventually you'll go somewhere near a cool noise. Now, I'm going to turn my headphones off quickly so I can actually dial in a sound, but basically what I'm going to be doing is just playing with these settings, playing with these routings until I get something like a cool noise, and then I'll refine it. Oops. Cool. So that'll be enough to get going with. It's not amazing, but I guess it's okay. It's a good start. Basically, the whole idea was I turn a few of these oscillators on. Fuck knows why I ignored D. Chose them kind of each an octave apart. There's like, yeah, I mean, look into FM ratios if you don't know why C, E, and F are an octave apart. But that gives you kind of a little bit of a range of sound, a little bit fuller than if it was just in one frequency range. And then I've kind of arbitrarily linked them up and dragged them around. Obviously, the higher the numbers, the more interactions, and the more kind of aggressive the sound. See, for example. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Just had to tweak the settings a bit because I wasn't that happy with the original sound, but that's enough to get going with. It's not too aggressive, but yeah, it's alright. It's got enough character, and I quite like real top-endy leads. You see, there's quite a lot. I think it's this one that really added the top end. See, I can probably show you. So yeah, now I'm going to try detuning some of these, see if it makes it better. Might not, I'm just going to have a go. Cool. I'm happy with that. Although, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as that. Time being. Basically, just if you noticed as I was playing with it, what I was trying to do is just make a cool sound come out. I didn't really know why certain combinations of things have worked better than others. You may disagree with my final sound, but whatever. This is the process of making a lead. You just kind of, you choose a few of these, you maybe detune one of them, you try combinations that it sounds what you like. And that's all there is to it. Right, so now we got that. We need to deal with the envelopes. So, what do I want to do? I probably want... so it's C, E, and F. Let's just try something. Actually, I was going to have like this attack bit and then go down, but I just realised since I'm probably going to end up in the track playing the lead like with the notes sliding around like this, it doesn't trigger the start of the attack each time, so it would be weird having the first note with this kind of higher amplitude plucky thing, and then the rest of them the same level, so I'm just going to leave them all back right at the top, so the loudness is consistent. Now let's see what the attacks look like. Yeah, you see, it's kind of subtle, but these attack times are very slightly different, which means that first bit of attack, these are going to be basically coming in at a different time, so it's going to create a attack portion that's very slightly different to the sustain. Maybe you can hear it. You might be able to hear it because the attack, this kind of difference, this attack bit is only noticed on the first note. So if I kind of play the first note and then slide it around, you might be able to hear the lack of the attack bit on the slide. In the song, the attack bit may get lost, but whatever. In this case, yeah, just adds a little something to that attack. What next? Not sure if I like the detuning. Let's try without a detuning. This is what it's like making a preset. You change your mind a million times, but it's part of the process. Let's try, maybe try in the unison. I think I'm alright with that pan there. It's quite an easy way of adding width with this unison, and then further this way the wider it is. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Wider the higher you go. It's just another thing to play with. Alright, so let's have a look at this quality thing. Also, you'll notice as I'm kind of playing around, I'm trying the notes in a few different octaves just because sometimes presets work better at different octaves, so just worth playing around. So how long has that taken? 23 minutes. Quite slow, right? You may be like, oh, the sound's not even that good yet, but it's all part of the process. A lot of the time when you're making presets, you have to build them knowing that things like reverb and effects and stuff will make it perfect. So, I mean, even if you take some of the best, like, to give you an example, yeah, in the Pendulum's track, can't remember, but Pendulum are known for their synths. I remember when Rob Swire in an interview deconstructed one of his tracks and was showing you the synths without effects in like the main bit of the track, and they didn't sound that good. But the thing is, you have to remember that once you add the effects, synths can come alive, and you have to kind of build them knowing that sometimes it won't sound that impressive until you're done, but you want to make it sound as good as possible before you add the effects like reverb and chorusing and stuff, things that really make it jump out. Because if you can make it sound good before effects, or you make it sound half good before effects, you know once the effects come on it's going to be amazing. So I'm reasonably happy with this so far. It's quite detuned. You see it's pretty high, but I quite like that. It gives it a bit of character. It's also quite top-ended. Which we can always EQ later if we need to, but for the time being, it's definitely okay. Right, so this little bit here, in case you didn't know what I was doing, this is the kind of the randomness thing. This gives you an analog randomness, gives you some weird subtle distortions and subtle out of tuneness, especially if you only do it a little bit. You won't really notice the change, but there is a very, very subtle difference. It's just nice to have it in there. And then this is a more digitally randomness, which you definitely don't want to crank. But it's nice just to have a bit of randomness. Just gives it a little bit of that low level subtle detail. It's all about detail. It's what I like about this synth, that it's a lot harder to get massive, a weird little frequency details. Right. There's definitely more going on than just a few different waves layered up, which is nice. So what else is there? Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, pitch. I want the pitch to kind of go down at the beginning of the attack. Or do I? Let's see if it works. Cool. I think in this case I won't do any pitch stuff because as I said before, in the actual track, I'm gonna have it with the portmanteau sliding around, so you don't actually get the pitch kind of working on the slide. I don't think so. I'm basically gonna do all my pitch modulation simply with the portmanteau and getting the MIDI clip right. So I'm just gonna make sure this isn't gonna ruin anything. Just looking at this level, back to 0. And yeah, just in case, take the envelope down. Now, oh yeah, I was going to make sure the velocity wasn't going to ruin anything, but you can see all the velocity stuff is on default, so it's okay. Alright, now I think we have a good enough starting sound. We'll go into effects, but we'll save it just to make sure that we don't lose it. I've got to find somewhere to store it. FM8 presets, dude. Save, new lead, sorted. Now it's saved. Now we could process this with effects inside FM8 or a combination of outside of FM8 and inside FM8. We'll start off with inside just to see if it's going to work. If not, we can always do it outside. The reverb's kind of okay. Normally I like to do my reverb in Ableton. For the time being, we'll leave that reverb on. We can always take it off and then add in reverb later. Cool. Let's try some of Phaser. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about this is, I don't know, it's just not really my thing. Cool, I can live with that. It's kind of subtle. Yeah, what's that button do? Oh, That just says when it's on, I think. Or does it? Maybe that's kind of the rate. I don't know, whatever. Just play around these effects until you get something you like. Let's try some tremolo. Nope. What about tube amp? Nope. Cool. I am taking my time, aren't I? 35 minutes. So yeah, basically it's just a subtle detail, nice and slow. It's just adding those little variations. Like you make something more complicated, adding lots of subtleties and things like if you had this phaser or flanger really wet, it will distract from the original sound and it will be obviously phased. Whereas if you just add it a little bit, it can sound pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's that. Alright, to be honest. Cool. I'm happy enough with that. Let's just save it. Sorted. So there you have it. Don't really know how to describe it. It is a lead sound. That's probably going to go in my new EP. Obviously, it may sound a bit stupid in this context outside of anything else. But hopefully, you didn't get too bored of me playing around. At least you saw the process where basically start off in master, make sure the thing's doing what you want it to do, and then after you make sure it's doing what you want to do, just get something going on. Just get stuff happening, and then you can dial it in. Remember, subtlety is normally better than just cranking everything. Lots and lots of subtle details are better than just a few mental ones. So things like this effect, you can barely hear the flanger, you can barely hear the phaser. It doesn't just distract. A bit like the reverb, it doesn't sound like you're in space, but it gives it a nice little bit of space to it. But it's not like outer space. So yeah, and then yeah, just play around. If anything, it illustrates you don't need to know what you're doing. And maybe, if anything, you might have just learned all the different steps in the process, I guess. Like you may have forgot to do effects. Maybe you're didn't change the envelopes or something. In this case, we didn't do much with them. Maybe you forgot key sync. Maybe you just wanted to see someone make a preset from scratch without knowing what he's doing. So yeah, that was it. There's your preset, a lead sound in FM8. Obviously, if when I'm making some more sounds, if I come up with some mental ones, I'll show you and then kind of deconstruct them. But this is my approach to making sounds in Massive, to be honest, as well. It's just playing around until it gets into something I like. And there are some details, like with the pitch, because of where I foresee this being in a track. I'm doing all the pitch modulation with portmanteau. So it's things like, if I want to do a pitch down, I'll just do that and then cut out the beginning bit. Or if I want to do like a whole line of sliding, I'll do that. And obviously in the track, I'll vary the portmanteau time to fit the tempo and all that stuff. And yeah, but it's things like, because I plan on sliding around, my envelopes are all consistent loudness. They're all hopefully right at the top. Yeah, they're at the top. Okay, just gonna fix it. Make sure it is actually at the top. Should probably have checked this. Cool. So yeah, because I'm sliding around, I want this sustain to be all maximum loudness. So all the notes are kind of the same sort of loudness. Otherwise you'd have the first note with kind of a plucky bit, punchy bit, and the rest without it, and it would sound weird. So yeah, like normally if you're doing non-portmanteau stuff, you'd obviously have a different set of envelopes. You probably have some pitch thing going on, but you know what? It's there to play around with. In this case, that sounds alright for me. Like, I might change the reverb out in the track, but never know, we'll see. And save, sorted. 40 minutes. I'm sure some of you will say, why can't you just make a sound and then tell us exactly how to get there? Well, it's kind of pointless. It's just pointless. Obviously you're not going to get exact same settings as me, no matter how hard you try. So it's more important you see the process. And if a process looked random and looked like I didn't know what I was doing, it's half true. But it's more just playing around to get a nice sound. That is how the pros do it. Don't think that there's some kind of synthesis gods and then have an idea in their head and they go out and make it. I mean, sometimes they do. But if they know how to make a sound, they've made it before, and they've done that with experimentation. So like, it's things like, I know you can get a more aggressive, like horrible sound to it if you have these things, more like bigger number, I guess, more of it being routed through. So I know if I wanted to make a really kind of horrible sounding dubstep thing, I'd immediately drag these up more. Or if I wanted a subtler sound, I'd drag them down. Stuff like that, you get a feel for it. But even so, it's more just general concepts. No one has any idea what levels to set these at beforehand, so just get comfortable with the fact that you don't necessarily know what you're doing, and that's fine. Cool. Also, if anyone knows where vibrato is, it must be somewhere. Or it might be here. I don't know. I'll have a look. It's got to be somewhere. Oh, here it is. Wait. Cool, I forgot about this. I'm adding this to the sound. I'm just going to play with the vibrato settings and then I'll finish up. Uh-oh, I've ruined it. How do I get that to 0? Double click. That's a stupid button. Okay, I was pressing it in the wrong place. I like it. I had forgotten about that setting. And wait. It's gone. That's weird. Right, save. Fuck knows what's going on with the vibrato thing. If anyone knows why that keeps resetting to 0 and it's just going to whack, let me know. I need to look into it. Anyway, that's the sound. Some of you probably got way bored by now and probably put in hate comments, but that's fine, whatever. This is the actual process of making a preset you get happy with. And I'm happy with that sound. It's about the right level of complicated and weird and nice and whatever. I can see that going on one of my tracks. So, yep, check me out. Links to my whatever below, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'll have a more focused FM8 tutorial or two coming up. But I think it's useful some of you see the actual process, because it's not just an 8-minute process of tweaking the setting to here. You need to play around. And of course, people have preferences, and in different tracks, different things work. So it's all good. I've been Multiplier. Laters, yo. Have fun making noises.